Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of Just Say Guay. I'm your host, George Guay. Today I'm joined by Beck Malenstyn of the Washington Capitals and the Hershey Bears. Beck, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so how have these last few years been for you, man? You make your NHL debut, you score your first NHL goal. You spent some time in the AHL, so all during a pandemic. How's this really been on you?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride, that's for sure. I think making those first steps into playing pro hockey, I've obviously been fortunate enough, like you said, to get the opportunity to play a couple NHL games now, get that first goal under my belt, which was a great feeling, and really start to build a career, and working on what I need to do to kind of continue that moving forward. So from junior to draft day to where we are now, it's been a roller coaster ride getting through this pandemic and such, but no complaints so far.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about how you got started in your hockey journey. Could you talk about where you're from? I know you're from the British Columbia. Could you talk about specifically where in British Columbia and what the hockey culture was like growing up there? Maybe teams you rooted for growing up.
Yeah, so I'm from just about 20 minutes outside of downtown Vancouver, in Delta. I grew up on my family farm there, which is still where I spend my summer times. And yeah, hockey for me growing up, my dad was playing beer league, as I was kind of, growing up. So it was a lot of mini sticks in the hallways and time spent in the dressing room post game. And I think that's probably what really fueled my love for it. And I kind of just started from there, threw skates on it at 4 or 5, and played my minor hockey in South Delta before I moved up to the Okanagan to go to the Okanagan Hockey Academy for Bantam and midget, and then from there into the Western League in Calgary and Swift Current, and then now pro. So
Yeah, definitely been a great journey, and a long journey that's had a lot of challenges and good things as well. So you played in the Western Hockey League. You started that around the age of 16. Could you just take us through what it was like and how it helped you get ready for the next stage of your career?
yeah, I think looking at it now, there's definitely a lot of similarities to being a 20-year-old your first year pro, and to being 16 your first year in the Western League. And you come in with guys who are bigger, stronger, more experienced, and you really have to find your way. You lean on your coaches, you lean on your teammates, and it definitely teaches you how to approach every day at the rink. I was going into I believe it was a 72 game schedule at 16 years old, and you're in and out of the lineup. How do you deal with that? A lot of things. I really think the Western League prepared me well to make that jump to pro hockey.
Yeah, and along the way before going pro, you played in the U17 and U18 World Junior Championships representing Team Canada. Definitely something that probably everyone who plays hockey in Canada dreams of growing up. Could you just take us through what that was like?
Yeah, I mean, any chance you get as a Canadian kid to throw on the maple leaf on your sweater, I think any of us would take it in a heartbeat. It was those two tournaments were really special for me. Being able to win gold at the U18s over in I believe we are in the Czech Republic was phenomenal. That's a memory that I'm going to have for a long time. And like I said, it's a super special moment anytime you get to wear the maple leaf.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of college hockey. I know a lot of people from Canada don't really play college hockey. I know Owen Power, the top pick in the draft, he's playing at Michigan right now. Did that ever cross your mind? Because I actually went to college with one of your current teammates in Hershey, Brian Pino, and he had a really successful time. I know he's American, and obviously it's a different story from being Canadian, but was that ever something that you considered?
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, it's probably very different paths, and it's really changed since I was going through it too. I think you're starting to see a lot more Canadian kids looking at college, and going through that way. It's an opportunity to get an education while playing the game, and I think it's proven pretty well too that it's not really affecting players' chances of making it too. There's a lot of kids coming out of college now, and making that jump to pro hockey where when I was coming through, my options were more so like, what if I wanted to go to college, it was potential, or the Western League was something at the time that seemed to be producing more players. So for me, it was a toss up. I had to make that decision at 14, so I couldn't even be contacted by a school yet. I was fortunate enough to kind of have a backdoor tour of North Dakota with Dixon Ward being an alumni, and we had had a tournament there in Bantam. It was pretty eye-opening to see that facility and understand, that, playing in basically an NHL rink was a potential option too. But I eventually made the decision to go to the Western League, go through Calgary and eventually through Swift Current, and definitely don't regret my decision.
Yeah, and it led to a big moment in your hockey career. You were drafted by the Washington Capitals in 2016. Take us through what that was like. And, they hadn't won their Stanley Cup yet, but they were knocking on the door, and you became part of a franchise that 2 years later they won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no, it was a super special moment for me. Leading up to that draft, I had some idea that I could potentially go, but actually decided to go out with my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, and my parents, and we went out fishing, and just took it really easy. I didn't want to be stressing myself out in front of a computer. And my parents were standing up on a hill that got a little bit of cell service when the call came through, and so we hopped in the car, drove out to where I could make those phone calls and get acquainted with everybody. And yeah, definitely a really special moment for me to join this organization.
Yeah, a moment that will last forever. So I know this happens a lot in the NBA and the NFL. A lot of guys take pride in their draft class. I know Tom Brady is really angry at it because he thought he should have won number one, even though at the time he wasn't supposed to be number one. But do you take pride in your class? And a lot of big names like Austin Matthews, Kachuk, Line, Nylander, McAvoy, the list goes on. I mean, does it make it more special knowing the guys that you went with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's probably a little bit different if you're in that first round grouping or top 2 round groupings. A lot of those guys have made immediate impacts on the NHL from the second they were drafted. And a little bit different when you're down in the 5th round. It's a little more work, and you're really just trying to get any opportunity you can to make that step. The expectations are a little lower, so yeah, it's been a special group for me to luckily be able to get a couple games under my belt now. That's really special for me. But yeah, there's a lot of big names that came out of that draft class, so it's definitely cool to be part of it.
Yeah, and obviously you did take that next step. You made your NHL debut not too long later. Take me through what that was like. It was at Madison Square Garden, and your first time for your NHL debut, you walk into a locker room full of guys like Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie, Kuznetsov, John Carlson. Not only guys that are the best players in the team at the time and guys that are really dominating the league, but they're going to go down to some of the best Capitals ever. What was that like? And take me through that experience.
Yeah, it was super special. I mean, to play your first game at Madison Square Garden, arguably the most historic rink in the league, was in its own unbelievable. And then, like you said, to step into a room full of not just great players, but probably arguably a few Hall of Famers as well, is something I'll never forget. Talking to those guys before games, having them come up to you and wish you good luck and try to ease your nerves a little bit. Those are moments that I'm going to remember forever, and really fond memories for me.
Yeah, and through that night, I know I talked to a few guys who've made their NHL debut, and they say it happens all so fast. Was there anything about being in the locker room with those guys that surprised you?
You know what? Nothing too crazy. I think the biggest thing, honestly, was how aware they were of, what my nerves were going to be like. Going into that situation, you think it's just another game day for them. They're going to go about their own thing, do it their way. And, I'm going to be over there in the corner, stressing myself out, sweating buckets, trying to get ready to go. And, that wasn't it at all for me. I was able to go out there and, have those guys support in morning skate before the game, really just try to calm me down, go out there, just play your game, play simple. My adrenaline was going to be through the roof regardless. So no, going in there and understanding that, those guys have a lot bigger things to worry about, but taking the time to make sure I was comfortable was huge.
Yeah, that's great. It worked out well for you. And, that's how it goes. It starts with the guys at the top, and that's how the team works. Goes all the way down to the rest of the guys with the roster. So, what was it like also to score your first NHL goal? And then after you make your debut, that's obviously the biggest thing you want to achieve next. You achieved it in Florida against a team that has top-notch goaltending. We all know that. And how special is that?
Yeah, super special. I mean, that's kind of the first step and the first thing that people can't take away from you, right? You get your first game, you get your first goal, and those are things I dreamt of as a kid, and really fortunate to have those under my belt now. Yeah, was fortunate enough just to step on the ice and have a great pass from a teammate that I played with here in Brett Leeson. was able to put the puck in the back of the net. And like you said, that's a memory that, can't be taken away from me now.
Yeah, for sure. You've gotten a lot of time on the ice this year, a dozen games with the team. I just want to ask, is it more challenging making the team for the first time when you're in Hershey that first time, or is it more challenging trying to get back?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, it's definitely hard to earn that first call up. But I would definitely say it's harder to make a name for yourself and stay at that level. For me, now it's having those two short stints. It's what can I do every single day within my game to know that if I get that call again, or coming into another training camp to put my name in the hat for one of those roster spots and be able to stick there. So it's definitely tough to get that first call. It's something you have to put a lot of time and effort into, but definitely harder, I think, to make a name for yourself and stick in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the talk about this Capitals team every year, it's about the veteran core group. I think people are going to keep talking the way Ovechkin's been playing at an MVP level at age 36. What should we expect from the young core going forward? Guys like yourself, McMichael, LaPierre, Garrett Pilon, Brian Pino. Have two great goaltenders under the age of 25 also. While there's a lot of great things to talk about for the core you guys have, for the guys to experience, you guys have a lot of good things to talk about going forward. So what should we expect from this young group?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's been a very veteran group since we've come into the organization. But this year has been a tremendous look at what young guys have been able to do stepping up. With the pandemic and with injuries this year in Washington, I think there's 8 guys from Hershey now that have had their opportunity to go up and play games, and every single one has gone up there and contributed, played big minutes, had big moments. And I think that just really shows the development. A lot of us have been together for a long time now. I think my rookie class, there was 11 of us, and there's still 6 of us here. So yeah, it's huge. I think a lot of us have the confidence to go up there and play, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to maybe get a consistent look up there.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you guys want to have. A good group that the coaching staff can rely on as the next generation comes in. So you're in Hershey now, and you guys have been stringing together some good wins. How are you guys going to keep doing that? I know it's tough right now. I mean, no one really knows a schedule on a monthly basis right now. It's really week to week. Schedules can change, but how are you guys really managing this and putting together some impressive wins?
Yeah, this year's been crazy. We got guys going up and down all the time. Lineups are changing. Day of, we won't know. And yeah, we've found ways to win. I think that's the best way to put it. They're not always pretty. We have a group that believes in each other out there. Goalies have made big saves at big moments. Guys have scored big goals in big moments. And that's really been the key for us. I think we're just relying on guys to make the plays when they need to. We have a lot of faith in each other that we're going to come out with those plays. We never feel like we're out of a game. We can claw back if we need to. And yeah, it's been huge. It's been a next man up mentality where anyone steps in at any given time in any role and knows that they can contribute. And I think that's been a huge testament to our success. Yeah,
it's a team that's playing well. I hope to see you guys when you guys come to Providence. It's a close by rink for me. Looking forward to it. Beck, thanks for coming on my show. We'll stay in touch, and good luck the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, George.